Hey guys, bit of a video of me talking about follower mods because someone requested this for some bizarre reason. Anyway, when it comes to follower mods, I have, one real desired preference is one, compatibility. Because if I have issues with the follower having glitches and other things like that, and the scripts don't run, then, you're not going to stay in my load order very long. Because, I need my game to run. The overall goal is to have a long playthrough without having to start again a million times. Yeah. I unfortunately had this issue with Orpheus. Now, this is not a dig at Orpheus's creator at all, because I love Craftian's work. I always find his followers and quests very interesting. But however, I had a lot of issues when it came to Orpheus. My game crashed a lot, especially when trying to fast travel to Markarth. Markarth wasn't something I could go to, so I had to remove him, unfortunately. Which was a shame, because I did like Orpheus. However, he was not romanceable. And that gets on to my second part. Now, this is not an attack on Craftian at all, but I like to use the joke of Craftian's follower mods do not play well with others, because they don't interact with each other. Orpheus will not interact with any of his already existing creations. He will not interact with Eris. He will not interact with anyone else. Basically, Orpheus is Orpheus. So, that was my issue. So it was like always the odd one out. And I'm having the same issue when it comes to Celestine. Now, Celestine's a fantastic follower mod, but she doesn't interact with anyone. And that's one of my second things. I like when followers interact with each other. I like when Zelzaz and Remy have a conversation. I like when Remy has a conversation with, for example, SDA Savannah. As much as I don't like that mod anymore, I did enjoy the fact they interacted. It was nice to hear them have a conversation about certain things, basically. Maybe I'm a bit of a nerd, but I just enjoy hearing my followers have a conversation about certain situations to do with necromancy, alchemy, or certain languages, such as Gel, in terms of Zelzaz, for example. I like hearing these conversations. I like to be like the third person in a friend group. I like that. Just something I would personally enjoy. So when I find out, two particular follower mods interact with each other, I go, yes, download, and probably going to make a permanent fixture on my load order. This is why Zelzaz and Remiel are on my load order permanently. As in, they ain't leaving at the fuck all. They are staying permanently on my load order. Because they're just my go-to when it comes to preferred follower mods. You can romance Remy, and you can have Zelzaz as your bestie. That's great. I like to have a concept where you can have a romanceable follower and a non-romanceable follower, and have them all interact, and you have like this little dream team, family demographic. It's great. Was a romanceable follower mods? Well, I'm a bit particular, I suppose. Remy is obviously my go-to for my female romance, as in she's not over the top and overly seductive, thank God. But at the same time, finding a decent option for my vampy character is pretty much near impossible. I've tried romancing other female characters like Savannah, didn't really work for many reasons. When it comes to male followers, there's never really a demographic which kind of works with her. As some of you may have noticed, when it comes to how I play her, she's not very nice. So, personally, trying to find a, lover for her is pretty much impossible. I've tried many options from what you've all probably seen from my past videos. And most of them end up being deleted because, it's not really going to work out long run. Carolyn is not going to work at all. Val, fantastic, but not really my cup of tea when it comes to romance with this particular character. And, right now, currently, Taliesin isn't romanceable, which is really, really annoying. Maybe in the future, I don't know, but there's a hope of mine that one day maybe Taliesin will be romanceable and I can potentially have an interest for my vampy, but we shall see, I suppose. A personal thing I would prefer is if I had a nice in-between of Taliesin and Orpheus, like a snarky vampire who, is 1,000 years old, who, opens their heart for their fellow vampire, basically. But I find that very unlikely because, finding romanceable vampire followers is pretty much impossible at the moment, unless you're going for SDA, and, no. Anyway, that's my regards to the romance mods, I suppose. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Some of you probably seen my videos. Celestine. Great follower mod. Absolutely fantastic. The writing is superb. And I just wish there was more to her, or things that could be rectified, and she'd be absolutely perfect. I love how she basically will have a way of, saving you doing the like battle quest, as you're seeing basically on my screen right now. But unfortunately, there's a few things I go, well, I wish this was rectified a bit. The numerical quest, for example. I wish there was a conversation you could have saying, I'm only playing along so I can find out who the other cultists are, and go from there. Because that's what I prefer to do usually. But unfortunately, that wasn't an option, which was kind of annoying. The sad truth is, when it comes to Celestine, the amount of times I end up killing her in a playthrough is actually kind of annoying, to be brutally honest with you. Like, in my last video on her recently, which was a very brief commentary of the Companion's questline, there wasn't even a chance to say, what's going on? I'm sorry, that I'm going to get myself cured, blah, blah, blah. No, she just attacked me. Maybe my version glitched, but it was rather annoying that I had to kill her. Again, like, you guys don't realise this. The amount of times I end up, having to reload a save on a playthrough or a video of me doing stuff for her is actually ridiculous. Like, oh my god. Like, I wish there was a chance to say, okay, let's rectify this and make things different, blah, blah, blah. Or potentially having patches with certain mods. For example, I have the mod called Destroys the Thieves Guild. It's a personal preference. I don't like Thieves Guild that much, so I always end up destroying them and taking their gear, basically, such as the skeleton key and other stuff. However, if you even bring Celestine into the Ragged Flagon, she just attacks absolutely everyone, which is kind of annoying. Like, I hate to imagine what would happen, basically, doing the main quest if you ever go there and talk to any of the people in the Ragged Flagon. Would you just attack people straight away? Because that's not ideal at all. Like, things like that right now, that'd be really, really annoying. Like, but at the same time, I haven't even got to the main quest because she keeps attacking me for doing anything. Like, I get it. You're, a militant, zealot, village extender. That's fine. I get that. But, oh my god, woman. Let's have a conversation. Jesus. Like, the amount of times she ended up being dead somewhere, is insane. Like, I'm trying not to run the rag on the mod too much, but if things were different, I could have a conversation with Crafty, and he had a chance to obviously sort certain things out differently, I would. But no, like, hell, a potential patch for, Destroy the Thieves Guild would have been fantastic. But no, she just, as soon as you walk into the Ragged Flagon, she just attacks everyone. Anyway, let's move on for Celestine, I suppose. Basically, when it comes to, follower mods, I like a follower that has an opinion, but is not to the point with their opinion that they basically kind of either attack you, or they give you an annoying lecture, but then do nothing about it. One of the issues I had with SDA, for example, is, stop lecturing me, Savannah. If you want to fuck off, kindly fuck off. Just, oh my god. Yeah, Jesus. Basically, if I come up with a follow, what I could want, basically, is a romanceable male vampire for my vampire character. That's something I personally would want. I would love that right now. I would love a romanceable vampire follower who wasn't a fucking cringy bastard or melodramatic. Jesus Christ. Anyway, this is me just rambling on, I suppose. Hope this makes some sense and is entertaining for other people. But, anyway, have a nice day.